DJ House of Pain, Sandokan is special. DJ House Thing. Sound kind of special.
Good evening, folks. Samson Toll, Lebanon Public Radio. We want to thank all of you again this evening for joining us. We say thank you. Welcome on Lebanon Public Radio, where Samson Toll is your host here tonight on this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. We thank God again, once again, to be alive. We say thank you, Jesus, for giving us another opportunity to be alive, and we want to thank you and thank you. We ask you, Lord, to help us, continue to bless us. Lord, we also pray for our country, and then we pray for the leadership of our country as well. Lord, please, once again, we ask for your mercy. If we have done anything wrong to anybody, we ask you to forgive us. And if anybody have done anything else to us as well, Lord, we say you have the power to forgive. And that we ask you put it in our head, in our mind, to be able to have the mindset of forgiveness. Only through you that things are possible. And with this, I say, my God, thank you. Let's move on, Samson. I didn't say your goal. Every time I say that, I say my God. So let's get that clear. Okay. Let's go and let's keep going, folks. I want to welcome all of you again this evening. Safety. The coronavirus that is going around, we have to be very careful how we interact with each other in a large gathering and what have you. Those are things that you want to. I'm not saying stay around. I'm not saying that this virus to determine who you are, or what you do, or change your lifestyle or whatever. That's not what I'm asking. But the main thing is you have to follow the CDC guidelines. From time to time, you go to CDC website and check their latest guidelines or latest information and what have you, and it will be helpful as you interact with friends, brothers, and sisters, so that you'll be mindful of what you need to do and what else not to do. But one of the things they continue to tell us that have not changed is the hand washing. That you do your best to wash your hand. Other people suggest 20-second washing hand. I go 40-second washing hand. And stay away from your face. Don't touch your face as much as you used to. But it's just difficult because the face is there. For Samson to face, I can't stay away from it. But this disease is giving me some new sense of guidance of how many times I touched my face today and what have you. We'll do our best, but please stay safe. Stay safe. This virus is not something to sneeze at. They don't have the vaccine yet. Folks, so you don't want to, even if it didn't do if it's not going to do anything to you, God forbid, it most likely not able to stand our guard anyway. But at the same time, you be very careful. Be very careful out there. This disease is spreading, especially when all of the states have all of the testing kit that these people are trying to provide. And can you imagine the number of infected people is going to go high, just like the flu is going to be too high because the tests are going to be available. Samson's going to go take a test, and I'll bring my test here on LIBERIA Public Radio and say, "Oh, I'm free, thank God," and as usual. So anyway, I want to thank all of you. Stay safe. Stay safe. It's very important that you do. Again, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. We're going to start our program here, but before I do that here tonight, this is a very special one. We also on a very somber note, today in Liberia, Decoration Day, where people go to the different graveyard sites and decorate graves of their relatives, friends, and their special one, whatever it is, they go out and paint the graves and make it look beautiful and what have you. So today is set aside for that. And even if you're not able to, like I'm right here, I'm not able to be in Canton to decorate my father and my mother grave. However, deep inside of me, as long as I appreciate what they have done for me, what they did in order for me to be here, as long as my mindset is clear that they did a wonderful job and that there's no regret in my interaction with them. Several times my dad will whoop me. Sometimes I say, well, you ain't got no business whooping me. Like, what wrong with you, sir? But however, the whooping turned out to be something, though. So you got to be careful what you try to frown on. And I also want to say to my mom, thank you. Taking me on the farm, as lazy as I was. But this woman will be brushing the farm and be talking like 4 or 5 men on the farm. And then by the time we get back in the evening, get to town, she said, my son is something else. The way he brushed that farm today, forgetting to know that the son was sleeping on the palm wine tree. True story. I'm sorry to tell you this. My mom will be brushing. I finished drinking heavy palm wine, laying down sleeping. She said, "See you guys here, come in." I sleeping. Then 12 o'clock, when they bring the food, I will be the first person to get up. And as soon as I get up, I say, yeah, you start making all the noise like that, been brushing. Fast, I don't do. She will not say anything. Then when we get home, and then her friends will come to, "Oh, wow, the same thing there, your son, we want to borrow you because the way he make him brush, we can get him all the way from." Then she'll say, "Yeah, but right now, the way you're working, auntie, I want to let him go." Knowing full well, she doesn't want me to go anywhere and embarrass her. That's what mothers will do for you. And then, of course, like I said, today is a decoration day, even though I'm not in Canton to be at the graveside, but they know my heart. They know I love them. When they were here with me, they mean the time we spent together. I truly, because I was much older then, to appreciate what a parent's supposed to be. Even though they were old, but I really, really enjoyed the time. My dad and myself would have an argument and things like that, but I enjoy all of that moment. I enjoy every bit of it. There's nothing that I regret, nothing, until the day he died. And in fact, when that happened, at first I was like, okay, well, he's old anyway. But then, the fact that he was my friend, places he took me when I was little, going to Bapa, going to diamond camp, showing me how to kill Dabadu from the hillside, how to set a trap, all those things. The feelings started coming towards me. I was out of it. And then when my mom passed a year later, that was devastating, because she's my mom. Yes, this is the lady in BTC. When she finished cooking, then I want to eat, but time to work, I don't want to do nothing. She would go and collect the bottles. She used to sell Heineken's bottles. If you're from the countryside, you know what I'm talking about. But then when she collect them, after washing, she asked me to wash them. I would not do it. It got too clean. Why I'm coming dirty myself with what dirty bottle for? She cleans them, put them in a cap, to even take it to the barrel side over there on the field to put it in the cap. I would not do it. Then when she come back with the money, $300-$400. I say, Oreo. I want Oreo. She didn't give me Oreo. That one, that war. We will not get something to Oreo. She will buy the Oreo, forgetting to know this kid have not done anything to contribute whatsoever to the money that she brought home. Nevertheless, she will go buy me uniform, buy me Oreo. I'm happy. So, on this day, decoration, of course, is in Liberia. I'm way out here, but I still want to appreciate them from time to time. And those of you that know the feeling, from time to time, even as old as I am, I'll be driving and tears will be in my eyes. I miss my mom. When they were here, I was playing baby. A true story. I have a little brother, the baby of all. When they came, he was like 6-7 years old. And I used to play baby. Why would my father eat and not give me the remaining in a plate for me to eat? He gonna give it to this man? And say, who is he? I'm the oldest, but I want when my father eating, when he leaves some stuff in a plate, let him give it to me, not him. A competition. Sometimes you will look up and say, what time you will grow up now? No, I'm ready yet. But anyway, folks, I just thought I'd throw that in. So this day, all of us have story for our mom and fathers and relatives, and finding within you to be peaceful as well, because they're gone, but you remain peaceful, and of course they'll be happy as long as you're happy. So I just thought that I'd share that with you this afternoon. Thank you. Now let's go into issues affecting the living. Let's go now. So, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio, I have some real good news for you. When I first started this thing, it was hot. I turned the air conditioner on, and it blowing me like this. I said, man, please, you from Total, you got air conditioner in Total, sir? What are you? Call it, what kind of basically shit? Hey, now you're talking. And way from Total and can't put air conditioner on. What kind of crazy man are you? But anyway, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio, I want to welcome all of you again. Let's start the program. Let's start the show. As you know, as usual, we come out here and show ourselves with the president of the Republic. Okay, here we are. The president of the Republic of Liberia. Folks, Samson told LeBron Public, that is the president of the Republic of Liberia, duly elected. 61.5% of the electorate in Liberia elected him. He didn't come to this past position through the back door. Far from it. 12 years in waiting. And finally, the door was open wide for him. And he walked through. President of the Republic of Liberia. And we appreciate that. I appreciated Liberian people for even making that choice. Of course, I don't agree with them because I'm not a member of CDC. So I don't agree with them. But I must respect their decision because these are brothers and sisters who thought within themselves that they were making the right choice. Who am I to say your choice is wrong? You shouldn't. I don't agree with the choice, but they have the right, and the majority of them decided this is the president they want. If I want this president out, I must wait until the time designated by the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. Then I can say, I don't want you anymore. And if I'm in power, if I have the mandate, if I have the vote, I can kick him out. If I don't have the vote, he's going to come back again and grind me this time because he's going to know, oh, that you something to, no man, you put the man down, put your finger on me. Politics. So what? However, as long as he was elected, he's my president now. I must respect him. I must accept him until the time to run a competition against him. Other than that, we have to obey the law. Speaking about the law, folks, I'm going to give you a few things here. Let me say this again. I told you here last Monday. The brothers and sisters back home that are running the affair of the Liberian people, they're doing wonderful. I don't agree with most of the things. For example, Samuel Toy, Minister Toy, for me, he should have been gone. I don't agree with him. I don't agree with the state of presidential, Miguel. I don't agree with him. However, I must respect the fact the president is keeping them. I shouldn't try to bring in division because I don't want these people at a certain position. Therefore, I must do everything possible to undermine the government. If I do that, I will be undermining myself. However, I must criticize if I see it fit. My criticism might not be accepted by his supporter. But as long as I'm doing it with respect, and as long as I'm doing it from the deep bottom part of myself, from my bottom part, that I'm doing this not because I want state power at this time, then I got nothing to fear the Tani sedition. They can bring it on. It don't matter. But I must be sincere. I must be fair. And I'm doing that. So, the brothers and sisters back home that are filling these different positions, they're doing their best to keep the country functioning. And the Republic of Liberia has not failed yet. The country is functioning. You stay here right now and send the amount of dollar that are allowed by the law of the United States, you send it to Liberia, it will get there. You stay here and ship car to Liberia, it will get there. How you get it out, that's a different issue. The government, people who are working for the government, they're not going around seizing people's property because they have the power. It's not happening. That's functioning. Democracy is functioning. I don't agree with many things they do. However, the fact that this government continues to have the state as an entity functioning, I'm going to take my hat off. It's difficult to do. But these brothers, let's recognize that, my brothers and sisters. Let's recognize that these people keeping the country going. Among themselves, maybe they don't even agree with a lot of stuff. You heard about Malu tape here the other day. So most of it, they don't agree with them among themselves most of the time. Yet still, they're able to put Liberia above themselves. As a result, the functioning level of the country continue to move forward. So we must accept that and appreciate that. Let me go on. That's the president of the Republic of Liberia. Now, as usual, what I do here, the president during the election, he decided to go on the countryside to run campaign. However, as you know, campaign season start in October. October is rainy. So when it's raining, the whole road business in Liberia cut off. So this time the president was walking the road cut off. I consider this the president of the Republic of Liberia, then Kennedy, you were not Dr. Then Kennedy Weah, George Weah, Senator Weah, Ambassador Weah, was then canvassing all over Liberia. At this particular video that I'm going to be showing you, at this particular moment, he decided to walk on one of the major highway in Liberia that was cut off because of the rain. Let's watch the video. Samson told LeBron Public Radio.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. No, I beg you.
There you have it. There you have it, folks. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Dr. We are walking in the mud during the campaign. And I truly believe it is because of stuff like that that Dr. Weah decided to focus on the road connection issues in Liberia. And he's focused just as laser. I mean, let's hear it. I shouldn't be the one narrating here. Let's hear Dr. Weah telling us that his business in Liberia as president, his focus is on road. Let's listen. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Did I miss that?
This is the right thing to do. Our country, it doesn't matter how many homes we got here, if no roads to connect, it's not completed. So I am happy with my road projects. From the capital to the hinterland, I will continue with the road projects. Anyone that will come after me will find something else to do. But I think that Liberia, being the first African Republic, also needs a road network. And this is what we're doing. You don't need to thank me, that's my responsibility. I need to thank you for making me to serve the country.
You don't need to thank me. I need to thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve you. And therefore, the road business are my business. Anybody that can't, I need to finish it. Anybody that can't after me, they will find something else to do. So why can't we all say, even if I'm not a member of CDC, which I'm not, why can't I just appreciate the fact that he's focusing on connecting road in, and in a sense, I'm in the road business. That's what I'm always excited about this. However, yes, and I'll continue. Whenever I play this video, then you should know what comes next. those that are charged with the responsibilities, my opinion now, supposed to carry out the policies set by the president when it comes to road and everything infrastructure. For me, it seemed to me that perhaps they are not quite up to par. And he said, Mr. Stowe, why would you say that? Because the video that I'm going to be playing, first of all, is an indication that they're not quite together. Secondly, if you go on public website, you will see some of the video they have. And even if you're not an engineer, even if you're not a construction engineer or whatever, you most likely will understand that this thing is not quite right. Okay? So if we're going to do this road connection, unless you want to put a road down that will last for maybe 2, 3 years, 4 years, and after that, the next person come in, they fix it all over. If that's what it is, then so be it. But then they need to tell us that. But they cannot come out and tell us the building road that will last for 5, 6, for 10 years, 15 years. And in order to, but I know for a fact that in order to achieve those kinds of durability of a road constructed by a contractor, there are certain activities that must be achieved in order for you to have that kinds of road that will last that long. But when I look at what is happening, when I look at their video, when I look at some of the things they're saying, it does not give me the confidence that they actually going to produce a product, give Liberian people a product that perhaps will last more than 5 years the most. And so when I see that, then I say, how are these people going to tell us that? Why are they telling that this thing going to be at a certain level? Okay, let me play this video now for you. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. This is the video where the contractor going to now, for me, throw the minister under the bus, number one. Second, the contractor is not going to tell the president that there's obstacle with respect to the road, which having to be LEC light pole. And then the question is, why are they discovering that now? Light pole is not something that can be put up overnight. Light pole, especially in Liberia, when you have all of these wires hanging all over, it's not secret for you to out of a sudden say you just found that up. Let's play this. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio.
Road embankment, we have this. The most important part is the pavement, which is the placement of the asphalt base course, which is what we're looking at now. We've gone 1.3 kilometers. So it means we have 7 more kilometers to finish with the first 2. Then our concentration will be on the intersection, which is the red light intersection, where we have possibly overpass. And then following that, the concentration will go on in the next 4 kilometers, which is from the red light and the LFA junction. For that one, towards the end of this month, we start to compensate the project affected person. We start to pay them, and then when they clear, we start up the work. Overall, we look at the work being completed within 2 years because of the urban nature that we have. But I think the minister will relate concerning the level of challenges that we have. But for example, in terms of the light poles, all right, because in some instances, we have some light poles there, so that is a potential, issue that will delay, us. But we've been working with LEC in terms of that. Yeah. Road embankment, we have the.
You heard the president asking questions. Oh, the lipo in a way. It just very concerning. Now these brothers and sisters, I told you before, they have the ability. They are educated. In fact, they can go anywhere, any part of the world, and be able to make a decent living. They're not going to be on handouts. that I can show you. However, I'm not too sure why is it that when they're in Liberia, they tend to throw all of those training out of the window. I'm not too sure. Maybe if I was there too, I'm not most likely. I doubt it. I'm from Toad Town. Ain't nobody. I'm not throwing nothing out of the window. Please. So let's go on. Let's go on to the main topic here tonight. And it's a very interesting, very encouraging. I'll come to that here. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Now here we go. The construction of a 4-lane highway scheduled to commence here very shortly. And I believe they say it's going to be 3 years. The construction period will be 3 years. The question that I have, and hopefully people will answer here very, very shortly here as well. And that is, when you say 4-year construction period, we have a season in Liberia. We got rainy season, we got dry season. So when you say 3 years, 3 dry season year or 3 rainy season and dry season combined 3 years. So that's the question we're going to be asking. But here's the good news here for those of you that are with me on this road business. Here's the good news for all of us. This gentleman, Honorable Smith Toby, a Deputy Press Secretary at the Executive Mansion, through the help of another gentleman, young man, Dennis Jar, who had a focus on Africa, was able to help us out to connect with Smith Toby. And I spoke with Mr. Honorable Toby this morning. And in our conversation, we spoke for a very long time. First thing is, you see, I'm very much quick to be impressed, to be honest. And I was very impressed with him. Until he can show me otherwise. Just from the conversation, I'm impressed already. And we have a lengthy conversation. But the conversation we have, many of those, some of them I'm not going to diverge to you here this evening. All I did was an ice game. All of the conversation we have, and do you mind if I tell my audience this evening that I've talked to you and you say X, Y, and Z? He said, yeah, that would be great. But anyway, we had a call. And I introduced myself. However, before that, he was on focus on Liberia before, where my name was brought up by the host, and he said, "Yes, Mr. Jai already mentioned you." So I told him, "Well, I'm an engineer here, practice engineering here in the state of California for more than 20 some more years now. Anyway, okay. However, I like to have." To talk to somebody about this role, the RII role, Rawa International Airport role, anyway. But I'd like to, whether you or somebody else, but from all indication, before I would say you said, don't even say it. I'm not an engineer, and I don't have and that's one of the things that I was impressed with. To be truthful with me like that, to say I'm not an engineer and I do not have some of the technical answer that perhaps you might be pointing out. So what I'm willing to do is to find someone from the public work or any place within the government that have the technical know-how, and see if you guys, I will talk to them and then connect you with them so that they will be able to explain to the Liberian diaspora as well. I thought that was very interesting, and I really, really appreciate that. So he also told me, and this is one of the things that I was very impressed with. I said, do you mind if I tell my audience that you and I? He said, yeah, please do so, because it's very important for brothers and sisters in the diaspora to know that we give them information, because through most of you guys, we're able to send out information about what this government is doing. Because if this is what I'm saying, I'm not quoting him exactly, but this is what he said. I'm just paraphrasing a little bit because I don't quite remember. But this is what he said. He said, lack of information coming from us, it allows people to set in rumors. Smith Toby. And because if we do not provide information for you to know what is happening with your government, then people take the opportunity to provide rumors and turning it into information. And therefore, we will not allow that. They have the right to do it, but we will do our best to continue to provide factual information as to what is happening in the government. And I thought that was very interesting. So I asked him, I said, okay, if all of that, when do you want me to call you? He said, give me a call next Tuesday. He said, today is holiday. And he also gave me information because I asked him, do you mind if I divorce? He said, yeah, and this one I don't mind divorce. He said, he also stated that the county tour is about to start. And so they're going to be busy throughout the week, I'm assuming. And so I will call him back next Tuesday. He said the same time, which will be around, in the East Coast will be 10:15. Because when I called him this morning, it was around 7:15 Californian time, which should be 10:15 your time. So I'll call him on Tuesday, and hopefully we will be able to. And let's also remember that the technology I'm calling him on medium that perhaps might not be successful at the time. So when I call, maybe he might not be able to get through. Not necessarily that he doesn't want to talk to me, but what if I can't get through? Or even if I get through and he's busy. Remember that he's a press secretary. And what if he's busy with the president or other things? Then what do? I'm not going to come back and try to say, oh, he lied. No. That's if that's what you expect, you're not going to get it from me. Because I will give him the time, okay, the benefit of the doubt to say perhaps he was busy. The president said you can't talk to Samson Toe today. The president said come here right now, leave everything, put Samson Toe, don't even talk to him. All of those things are possible. So I will give him the benefit of the doubt. However, we'll pray and we hope that we will be able to talk to him so that he will give us somebody who have the technical ideas of what is happening with the road. So I asked him one or two questions though. I didn't just let it go. I said, do you know what a public work have the drawing, the design, the blueprint? He said, yes, public work has the blueprint. So that's good to know, because whoever that I'm going to be talking to, one of the issues that I'm going to be pressing is that perhaps it should be public knowledge, even if the means, because usually the drawings and things, in order to send them out, the contractor have to buy. So if they say we have it but we're selling it, I will buy it. And the difficulty, well, it's not that difficult, because when I buy, then I will send it. I will ask my buddy, one of the engineers in LIBERIA, to go get it and then put it on a PDF and send them to me. So we'll work something out, unless they said they don't have it. But he told me already they have it. Another question that I asked, or he not question, but he volunteered this information. He said, Mr. Toe, if you need anybody to talk about politics and policy issue with respect to the government, you can contact me anytime. We'll be willing to come on your platform and discuss that. But as far as the technical issue, I can speak to the politics and policy of the role. But I'm sure you want to talk about technical part of the role as an engineer. And I say, yeah. But I told him, I'm also a political junkie. He said, then we'll find time to have that conversation. I thought that was very interesting. So, and once again, folks, almost Smith Toby is on board with us, and I'm very excited about that, because and here is what I'm not going to do. And let's lay it out, the groundwork right now. Let's lay it out. Anybody that they sent over here, first thing, and I'm giving it to you as it is, so don't be surprised when a person out here and you see us laughing and carrying on, because I will have conversation with this person, and I will explain to them what I'm looking for, so they will be able to research that and be able to provide that kind of information to us. I'm not going to bring anybody and do one of those got you questions. That's not what I do. This is a very serious business. Because the road connection, the road construction, the road design is a safety issue. I'm not going to bring somebody here and say, oh, I got you. You don't know. I tell you, say, you don't know. That's not what I'm going to do. So before the person come on air with me, the person and I going to have conversation. And I will asking question that I will ask him on air, so that person will be prepared when they come out here and give my audience the information that it is truly what they have. I'm not going to bring anybody out here and then ask them, some kind of tough journalist question. Oh, okay, well, the man, sounds into a brother, he asking that kind of question. That's not what I'm going to do. So let me lay it out quite clearly. I don't want you to come here, if I'm successful getting somebody here, for you to be surprised that I'm not asking the kind of question that perhaps you're thinking that I need to do. I'm not going to do that. This is it's the politics, of course, Liberian politics. So we'll go into all of the aspect, the contracting aspect, and perhaps before the person will come on, the person will be able to. I will already know whether that person have that kinds of information. And if he doesn't have it, I will ask to see if they can put us through another person, and then so forth and so on and so on. So I think the reason I'm telling you this, and the reason I'm going to do this, is for us to find clear information that will at least ease some of us our concern. I'm not going to bring them here to say, oh, they're going to fail. Far from it. I'm going to ask them the kinds of information that I want, that I would like for my audience to have. I'm not going to come bring them over here unless we have that kind of discussion. For example, bring them out and say, what kind of mix design you guys going to do anyway? No. Oh, by the way, I know the super elevation in this area. How much percent you think you're going to have on that? None of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do that. Now, in the future, if I get my hand on the drawing and I see that they don't have these kinds of stuff on the drawing that is needed for safety, then I will go through all of that. And say, what happened here? You have this much curve. You have the radius of this kind of curve, and based on the international design standard for this kind of horizontal curve, you must have this much type of super elevation. I don't see it here. What happened? Then I can't go through all of that. Okay, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm just telling you. So I'm hoping that Brother Toby will be able to provide the information for us. It would be nice even if he said the minister. I would love to have that. So anyway, that's the good news about this particular Morea Ralphie EW Road construction 4-lane highway. Now, let's go on. Let's go on to some of the things that I'm going to be talking about here tonight. I'm not going to be here long for tonight, to be honest with you. But one of the things that I want to talk about, I don't have the drawing, as I've already explained to you. But before, Samson, please, you can't make that kind of mistake. Before we do that, let's do the usual call. Let's look at the people's schematic, and let's excite ourselves, and let's give us some excitement. Yes, the Liberian government is not just like back in 1976, when the Nigerian government, they said they're going to have free education. And President Nego made a music out of it in 1976. Nigerian government said they're going to have a free education. Hey! Now the Liberian government going to have a 4-lane highway, super highway, 4-lane. Now, let's take it easy, because they can also give us a highway that might not be super, but it can be 4-lane. They can give a highway, 4-lane highway, that they can come out and put a chip and seal on it. It'll just be fine, but it's not as much. They can give us 4-lane highway, a dirt 4-lane highway. Yeah, folks. I'm just giving it to you as it is. They can do that. But anyway, let's look at the schematic and let's try to excite ourselves here this afternoon and see how far we're gonna go with this. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Let's watch this video.
D12 on the beat.
All I do was win. All I do was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. All I do was win. All I do was win. I say I jump over it. The whole you did by me, I jump over it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did by me, I jump over it. They will see it. I say they will, yeah. So you forced to let me. You not let me say you forced to let me. You forced to let me. You not let me say you forced to let me. Jehovah bless you, no man can curse you. When Jehovah bless you, no man can curse you. When I can go, it will eat you. And when I feed it will hurt. When I need it will ju. All I do was win. All I do was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you was born to win, yeah. All I do was win. All I do was win. I say I jump over it. The whole you did by me, I jump over it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did by me, I jump over it. I say I jump over it. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. They can do what they do, and they can talk all they talk. They can do what they do. Hey, turn the fire the person, Holy Ghost fire the person. Turn the fire the person. All I do was win. All I do was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. All I do was win. All I do was win. They will see a koro with a BB apple. They will see a koro with a small apple. They will see a koro with a BB apple. They will see a koro with a small apple. Jehovah bless you, no man can curse you. Jehovah bless you, no man can curse you. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. I say your time, now your time, nobody can stop it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did by me, I jump over it. All I did was win. All I did was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. Nobody can stop it. I say I jump over it. The whole you did by me, I jump over it. All I did was win. All I did was win. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah. Born to win. I say I was born to win. Born to win. I say you were born to win, yeah.
Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. That's just the schematic. Now let's go ahead and take 1 minute or so of commercial time here, and then we'll be right back on the other end of it. Let's have fun together. And this is, I think it's a tax season, and this gentleman is going to tell us more about taxes and all that kind of good stuff. Let's listen. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio.
When you do me, I do you. When you hold me, I hold you. When you touch me, I touch you. When you play me, I play you. Let me see you do. Do them, I go.
The tax season is here again, and one thing you want is you don't want to go to people who will, a lot of the times we see in our community, they will mess your tax up and then they are nowhere to be found. So I mean, my records are there. All of my clients, they have never had any issues. So I'm available, like I said, throughout the year, and this tax season I'm ready to roll. You can contact me. My phone number is 267-265-7903, 267-265-7903. And my address where I do the business is 539 South 4th Street, Darby, PA 19023. 539 South 4th Street, Darby, PA 19023. And you can see my office is right here. Everything is set up, the computer, my printer, everything is set up. And since the tax season started, that's all I've been doing.
Folks, let's patronize this brother. You got the number, information, everything over there. So give him a call if you haven't done your taxes yet. Seek his tax expertise and advices and what have you. So let's go on. You saw the schematic of this role, and it is very interesting. Very interesting. One of the things, and the items, the action items, and the money items on this job side. Look, I'm just thinking through it, and like I said, I don't have the drawings, I don't have their quantities, and I don't have any information except to speculate. Now, I can say I want to wait until I get all that information, but then what's the point of me having a show anyway? Anyhow, one of the things that people, and that's why I continue to question the capacity of this company, and I will talk about that. I will talk about the company on Friday. I will take the half of my show to talk about the company, the little that I know about the company on Friday. But the company that we're talking about, I will talk about the company on Friday and their little whatever job that I've seen that is connected with them. But the point here is this company, I'm not too sure if they have the capacity. Now, I also have been a contractor. I used to work for myself as a contractor over there in Ohio. So I know a little bit of how these things work. Do they have the insurance bond? Do they have what is the capacity of the bond anyway? There's so many information that we don't know about. And I'm hoping, as I started with Mr. Toby here, Honorable Toby will be able to give us these kinds of information. Is this company, does it have the capacity? Why if this company for some reason decide to quit on us? Who's going to take the bulk of the job? Who's going to do it? Okay. Now, is that company it becomes the prime contractor? Is he going to take major part of that and sub it out to specialties company? People who build bridges and stuff. Is that what he's planning to do? Okay. So those are the kinds of things that I really, really like to know. I've not seen this company. They don't have a website that I can go to. I have not seen this company with equipment that I can point my finger to say, yeah. I've not seen them with excavator. The only equipment front end loader the other day what they have. I've not seen them whether they have dozer, because you're going to need dozer on the road. You're going to need pans. And dozer, you're not going to need one or two. You're going to need about 10, 15 of them. on this highway. If the time frame the same, if that's what you're going for, you're going to need at least 7-8 excavator. Well, maybe that's too much. 4 or 5 excavator. Okay, you're going to need that because you're going to split the job into section. You can't just say, okay, we're starting right here, we go here and then keep going. No, you're going to have to split the job into section so that you'll be able to make the time. Okay, now that's construction. That's on the contractor. But from the government perspective, from the government side of things, the issue with property owner on this road could be the deal breaker on this job, on this project. Could be the deal breaker on this project. There's no question asked. If the government cannot and will not go and negotiate with the property owner, that's what I'm going to be addressing here tonight. The government and the property owner on this road. Just remember, there are many Liberians in the diaspora that purchase land in the corridor of Rawafi Highway. Okay? Now, there are those who purchase land far away from the road. That's okay. I'm going to deal with them later. But those that are closer to the road, and perhaps that might be asked to give up their property or piece of their property because the government want easement, permanent easement. At this point, it's not going to be a purchase of land. You call it easement. Okay, it's not going to be. Some area is going to be temporary easement. Because some area you just want to be able to use the place for your equipment, for the contractor equipment to come in and out. So you purchase temporary easement. After they're done, you give it back to the property owner. But this particular highway, the right of way, if what I'm seeing, if what I'm hearing, the right of way on this is not enough for 4 lane. So that means the government going to have to purchase extra property. And the purchasing of the property from property owner, this is where the sticking point is going to be. You can't push anybody around. There are people that got houses already closer to the road. Perhaps just a little inch away from the highway, from the existing right of way. So they have the right. You can't kick them out. You can only kick those who decided, knowing fully well, that they have the right of way and they build within the right of way. Those people can be kicked out. You don't even need anything else because they're in the public right of way. And they must leave. You can't, they're not necessary unless government want to. And then again, what do you do with those people? They are human beings. You're going to just kick them out and damage their property and damage your house. Where are they going to live? Do you going to compensate them? At what price you going to compensate somebody who is in your right of way? And here's the other thing here. Samson too. Folks, these things this is going to be very, very interesting. Okay? In survey book, those of you that done survey, in survey book, land usage and stuff like that, they have issues with land. For example, if you have a common boundary with someone else, okay, and then for some reason you guys purchased just about the same time, 2005, 2007. You did survey. The person didn't do survey, but then you went and took about 2 foot of the person's land, and you said that's your new survey boundary. You know what the person have to do? The person doesn't even have to lift their finger. Every 2 years or so, every year, the person have to come to you. You're using my land. That's all they need to say. As long as they continue to tell you that that land is not yours. But if the person use your land, it's in the survey book, some state, and it's also international. Some country, 21 years. Some country, 20 years. The person uses your land and you don't say nothing. After that time period, that land belongs to that person. Check it out. Look it up. So if Robert Highway that was built back in the 50s and somebody purchased land and they having to purchase the right of, within the right of way, and the government have not made any kinds of effort in terms of maintenance to say we're going to maintain the road up to the right of way, to cut the tree down up to the right of way. You just clean the road itself, which is within the right of way. You don't go above up to the right of way. And the person that purchased that land continue to clean past the right of way. And the person can show over the years that they have continuously cleaned that place. That land belongs to them after 20 or whatever year LIBERIA had. Okay? So that's another issue the people gonna face. Another interesting thing the government gonna face. Okay, and I don't know the land distribution law in Liberia, so I'm not gonna speak to that. What all that I'm saying here about land is about my own experience as a surveyor. Ah, you didn't know I'm a surveyor too, eh? Samson. Now let me tell you a little bit about my own survey background. When I was in Canton, Ohio, I used to work for the county engineer, staff county engineer. So we used to go out. I was on the survey crew. So we used to go out. Okay. Now in Ohio and most of the northeast area and stuff like that, and Midwest or whatever you want to call it, they have what they call section. Okay, 36 section make a township. Okay, so in the section line, they have sandstone, actual sandstone that was made in the 1800s, because they didn't have no pipes, they didn't have no steel to put down. So what they did was they cut sandstone, maybe about 2 feet by 3 feet long, something like that, and then they put X in the middle of it. X, just like you put X somewhere. So they have the X. They got north, south, west, and east. Okay, so they put that at the middle of the boundary. Now, when I was there, one of the things we used to do, and it almost cost me my life, to be honest with you. So the farmer, when they're farming, they plow their land. So they come and see the rock. Oh, that's the boundary line. What? Oh my goodness! I move it. I think it belongs. So they go about. Sometimes they go 5 feet into somebody else's land, and then that person see. Oh, I moved the sandstone. Then they go another 10 feet into another person onto the other guy's land. Before you know, they start having conflict moving this thing. So then they call us to re-establish the section line, to re-establish the section line for them to come off of it, to make sure they're in the right boundary. And usually when you're driving on this highway in the summertime or even wintertime, when you're driving, you see a tree line or straight tree line. They don't cut the tree, but it's not wide either, just a little sliver of tree line. That usually is a section line. And if you go in the countryside and you see some of the country roads, straight country road, that most likely is the section line. And most of these highway in the east, they're built off of these section lines, because the section line was the line during in the 1800s. The government have to clean it in order for them to put the boundary survey. So they clean it, and then it becomes area where the wagon with the cars and stuff like that, the wagon travel on there, so that it becomes a road. But it is actually a section line. Okay, I'm just giving you that. I'm just giving you this, folks. This is Samson Tove. They told them, man, I'll go through everything the player you think that's something small. So one time there's an issue where they were having some serious argument. And my boss said, okay, Samson, just go ahead and grab the instrument and then go reestablish the line. Now, to reestablish a section line, you have to know the coordinates of the area. You have to know how to do a DMD method. I'm not going to go into that, but anyway, you have to know a lot of things, okay, survey wise. So, which is just trigonometric, no big deal. You know your math, you know it. But anyhow, so I went out and did my stuff, and these two gentlemen were standing. One man, he put it for, he said that they play their team belong. I'm looking at this guy. I said, I haven't even put my instrument out. You're telling me this is where this thing going to go. Well, let me put my instrument out and do my survey. So sometimes you have to go almost a mile on the other side to be able to find the other sandstone. Remember, I told you there's 36 section. 36 section in a township. So you have this section line, you have this section line, you have another section. There are four corners to make one section. Okay? And the section, the corner, the four corners, you have to make sure that they are on the coordinates that were established back in the 1800s, that is in the courthouse. And in order for you to go out, you have to go to the courthouse and make sure you do your deed research. Something told you something else again. You make sure you do your deed research. I'm glad that I did all of those things, because right now I can get, when it comes to engineering, like I said, I'm not taking backseat to nobody. I'm not playing around. So anyway, you have to go in the courthouse and do the deed research. You read and you read the deed. The deed, they have a deed description. They say starting at this point, north, 45 degree, blah, 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 west. Then you turn it this way. South, blah, 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 45 degree east. Then you come back this way until you meet where they want you to meet. And you make sure you calculate those meets and bounds. And the calculation comes up with the acreage they have on that paper. So before I go out, I do all my research. Then I have my paper. So I go now. And this man standing there put a foot down, said that they play their thing come from. They want here today, they play with, I put my foot down. That white man talking, that I'm total man. They play, I put my foot down, that not fufu. Something told when you come you finish eating your heavy fufu, don't bring it here. That your sandstone is going right here. The other man said, look at it, man here. That sandstone, I say, going here. You eat my land, you move it. So then I go and do my stuff. So at this particular time, I went out, did my stuff. It took me about 45 minutes or so. And then find out this guy that started putting the foot down from the beginning, he was about 4.5 feet into 4.5 feet a piece of land. That's not a small thing to sneeze at. He was 4.5 feet into this person. So I moved the sandstone, brought it by 4.5 feet. He didn't say anything. He went in his house, grabbed his shock gauge. The next thing I heard, I said, no. The man from Town, I dropped everything, the instrument, everything. I got in the car, put my group in the car. We left. We left the instrument. I come in the car, fool myself, working, looking for instrument and something. That two things. I did in Ohio. I dropped that instrument twice. One was I was in the water trying to do my instrument, setting up my instrument. And here comes the snake in the water. I ran out of there, the instrument dropped in the water. The supervisor was so pissed, he wanted to take me in the office to complain that I dropped the instrument. So when in the office, the man said, you left the instrument in the creek because Samson told drop it and you want to bring it. What guy, you're so stupid. But anyway, that's a different matter. So I packed everybody with one. So they got the sheriff. We got the sheriff, we went by. But this time, we didn't use sandstone. We used metal. The reason using metal was because they have what they call dipstick. It's a piece of, you know how they put when they go, pick up the metal? Well, you use the metal nowadays so that when a surveyor comes with his dipstick, you'll be able to detect where the metal is. You can't do that with a sandstone. You can't do that with the sandstone. Sandstone is strictly measurement. And if you do sandstone, sometimes the sandstone is covered up with the tree branch. I mean, how do you call it? Tree root. Then that's when something with total mental comes in. Yeah, chopping the tree, my man. Because I used to do that one. I love that part, chopping the tree. I got paid. But anyway, on a very serious note, let's get back to Liberia. So now, these people, they already established that this is their property. Now you want them out. You're going to purchase the land. You're going to purchase, the government going to purchase the land. I don't know what the land value is in Liberia now. Okay, I haven't purchased for a while now, so I know. Okay, but you have to purchase based on acreage. Okay, now here's what you're gonna do. You will take the length of the row, because you're buying a straight line. You buy from this point to this right away. Say for example, your old right away is at this point. From there to the new right away, say it's about 10 feet. Okay, but you're 10 feet into somebody else's right away, and you want to go 10 feet here. You want to go another 25 feet. So it's 10 by 25. Okay, you square footage, and then you're gonna have to go through and do the division. I'm not gonna tell you. You know how many feet in? Well, I'm not gonna go through that. Forget it. But anyway, then you do the division, and then you come up with the acreage. Okay. I will tell you all that Friday. Okay. I know it's 45,360. You know, I'm not gonna go into that. Let's forget it. Okay. So when you do that, then you go to an appraisal. This is where the confusion gonna come out in Liberia. Because you have to follow these things. Then you go to an appraisal, and then the person going to appraise this thing was okay based on the mineral value. How close is the drinking water in this area? Is this place valuable? Because you don't expect the government to come pay in the desert and come pay all that money. The land is not valuable. So based on the appraisal value of your land, then they will tell you how much they're going to pay for that. Negotiation. The government can't come and say, this is what I want to pay, and that's it. No, they do that. And I said that the last time. If the property owner in the area, if they're smart and put themselves together and take this government to, because they don't trust the Supreme Court of Liberia, please, they take this government to ECOWAS court, they can put a stop to the construction easily. 1 minute, they said no more construction until the issue resolved. So the point that I'm trying to make here tonight is the government of the Republic of Liberia should start the process, if they're not already on it, should start the process of information dissemination process. Go to each of the community. You already know if you have the plan, like the guy said they have the plan. You've already identified these areas. You already know what property is going to be affected. You know if that property is within the right of way, existing right of way. If it's not, if it's within the proposed right of way, then how do you deal with them? You start talking to them. First of all, if I was in charge, you can't live in Liberia if you don't love Liberia. There's no way. All of these people that live in that country, they love the country. That's their home. That is their home. They're foreigners that come from other countries, leaving the country and live in Liberia. Why is that? Why aren't they staying in their own places? Because Liberia is the place to be. It's better. So the first thing, if I was involved in the negotiation, the first thing I'll do is to go to this community and be very, very honest with them. From day one, I will lay out, call them in a community hall, or even invite the community leader at public work in one of the old conference rooms and lay out on the wall all of the drawings. And if it means to go around, I do that. And then I will walk them through the process. What it's going to take in terms of construction. Who's going to be affected in terms of water, hydraulics. All of those things, I will lay them out. So that they will know what is coming. So they're not surprised. Give them the information. Information is powerful. Give them the power. Let them charge the government any amount they want to charge. Then the government can come. We don't have that kind of money. However, we have to put this role in. But we don't have that kind of money. So we're asking some of you to sacrifice. And you will expect Liberians to sacrifice for this role. This is not something that just happened overnight. Liberians will have to give up something for majority to benefit. So we shouldn't be condemning people on this road business. Far from it. Some other property going to be landlocked. And now you're going to ask other people to open their property so that this landlocked now will no longer have a landlocked issue, so they will have passage in somebody else's property. This is far from over. Far from over. And this is why I want to start the conversation so that we will be able to understand. But I must also be careful of not trying to be someone who trying to incite citizens against the government. That would not be good, and that's not the intent. But if the government is truthful from the beginning, then my own information will not see as an incitement, because the government have already provided that information, or even close to that. Oh, something we hear that thing long time ago, man. Don't come bring something we know about. But if it's new to them, they will hold on to that kind of information. And then the government go in there and say something that is not true. Because some of them, the international age now, the technology now, they can stay right there in Liberia, in Monroe, and do research. And find out how other countries in that region, how they've dealt with issues like that. Gaining but building roads. Sierra Leone, Ivory Coast, they can go and do research, and they'll find out how these people have dealt with these kinds of issues in the past. And you expect them to sit down and let you? They're not going to do it. So here is the interesting thing on that. If the government of the Republic of Liberia, if they do what Honorable Toby is saying, that they will try to provide information at all times, then it's good. If they don't do that, then some of these talk show hosts will start making phone calls to the property owner. Then the politician that want to utilize this against the sitting government. That's politics of politics. Or the people come, what kind of business is there? The people coming to build road, then they're taking people's property. What kind of business is that? As though if they were in power, they were not going to seek the interest of the Liberian people. And the interest of the Liberian people is to have 4-lane highway. And in the process, people land at it's going to be affected. So if the government take the lead, I'm saying it again, just like I did with the protest, the government take the lead. The government should be at the forefront. Truthfulness. So by the time these politicians want to be something to, and all of other people want to do, just because they want to run a campaign against the sitting government, by the time we come up with our information, the people in the community will already have those type of information at hand. Whatever we come up with will be second-hand information. Yeah, Mr. To, we hear that thing already. They'll find something to do. We're in, because if the government is truthful with them, then this is how they're going to respond. We're in negotiation with the government already. But if the government decided They're not going to provide anything. With government, we can do just about anything. First of all, the anxiety among the community will be high. They don't know what's coming. They don't know what's coming. And you can't hide yourself behind change and prosperity and progress. And therefore, people's property must be taken because of change, prosperity, and progress. They're most likely not going to accept it. And the international community, people you begging for money, will not allow you to run people over like that. But if you're truthful with them, because most of the international community that perhaps might be coming, they will want to do their own research when it comes to the community, because they know they're providing money for highway, and the highway they know is going to be affecting people. So they come to the community. How are you guys? Are you guys on board with these kinds of stuff? If you win the community over, the community will sell the project for you easily. Because every one of us, every Liberian, whether you are opposition to this government or not, we all know this road is needed. There's no question asked. But if the government sell it, if the government sell this idea with truthfulness, they will succeed quickly. But if they start hiding behind progress and prosperity and development, they're going to have issues. Okay? So, anyway, that's the line here tonight. And I just thought that I try to throw that in. I mean, I'm being very honest. So hopefully, we will continue to consult. Now that we have the ears of the press secretary, hopefully he doesn't block us soon, because the people have already classified us as enemy of the state. Those people that classify something as those are tiny sedition. Those are tiny sedition. And not real sedition, because a real sedition, you don't call something to enemy of the state. But that's besides the point. Information, the processing of information, can be powerful. You can use information in your favor, or somebody can use the information against you. Your own information, somebody who's smart can use that information against you. So these are things that the government should, knowing fully well you want this role, knowing fully well that this is an important role, but it's going to affect people from either way junction all the way to suffering, because that area is populated. It's populated. People have already purchased land. In fact, some people now purchase that same land 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It's in quote. This is going to be interesting. Oh yeah. The government, you got issue. So I just thought about that, because some of these land that in the IRA corridor, some of these land issues are in court. How you gonna? Even if you want to use eminent domain, first of all, you're gonna have to have the court to vacate whatever judgment or whatever vacate judgment they have to do. So okay, we're not interested anymore. Then you can do whatever you want to do. But how do you get the court to get out of it? Oh my goodness. He's not going to win it, and we're going to beat him. Anyhow, I just thought that I'd do that here tonight, folks. From the government and the landowner perspective, I think before I open the line, which I will only open for a few minutes and then I'll be out of here. Friday, I'm going to come out here and talk about East International Construction Group and their past record and some of the work they have done. And I'm throwing it out there for you to see if these people have the capacity to do the kinds of complex highway construction that we all have seen. Maybe they're gonna say, no, we're not building it like the area over there in the diaspora. We're building it just the Kakata Morea Highway. Okay, you can do it that way. Then Tower Hill, but what do you do with places at Tower Hill? Then you have four Tower Hill with 8% grade. So when it rain and part of the highway, 4-lane highway caught up, that's gonna be interesting. But one of the things that I see myself doing on a very serious note is that once I get involved, I start talking to people with public work, and they find out that I'm not doing this for any kinds of job or whatever, and they find my sincerity. Maybe they will open up to me, and if they do, I will help. I can stay right here and help. Okay, maybe if the design is already done, I will go through the design review. If they let me do that, I will go through review the design. Now, one of the things that most likely, if it's not so much of job, so forget that. But I want, if I'm going to be of any help, it most likely is going to be at the construction end of things. Okay, because in this particular road, if you're going to do a construction on this road, you must have good survey, cut and fill line, well established, profile, elevation of each of these section profile must be established based on the design. And so if I review the design and find out that their profile, vertical profile, is suitable based on international standard, okay, where the gray in, gray out have to be to a certain amount. Once I go through all of those things and find, okay, yeah, these are suitable and they have good super elevation, I'm not too much concerned with super elevation, because I don't see this road as it is. The only place that I see super elevation, when you get out of Marshall, as you're leaving Marshall to go to Rouse Street, immediately after they split, the road started banking to the left. Now they got to be careful if they want to keep the scene alignment. So they're going to have to provide actual super elevation in that area, because you don't want the super elevation they have right now. I was there. Well, you know, as an engineer, you get to the kinds of stuff you're wondering. So I one afternoon, I was going to my brother place. He lives in Tower Hill, and I was going to stop at that place, and I look at the grade. I know for sure, based on the curve that I looked at, that super elevation does not match the curve anyway. But that's besides the point. Those are the kind of stuff that if I was going to be involved, those are things that I would look at. Safety. I want to make sure that this super highway, they do have an actual shoulder. An area that is required guardrail, they must provide those. Okay, so once again, this job might even be, if you go through nitty-gritty, you might find out that this thing might even be more than the amount, dollar amount they allotted for. Okay, now I'm not going to go and jump over that right now and say this is something. I don't have their quantities, but just from looking at this road, okay, I told you the last time, the lane mile, okay, lane mile of this road. Don't say it's one lane. I mean, one when they come up $1 million a lane. If they say $1 million a lane, okay, and it's 28 miles, $1 million a mile per lane, and $1 million per mile lane, okay, whatever. But if it's so, you got 28 miles going twice, because you got one lane, two lane. There's 228 and 228 coming. Okay. So now you're talking 4 lane miles. So if it's $1 million, so a lane mile is $1 million. So 4 of them are $4 million right away per lane mile. 28 of them. Aha. Okay. So if we were looking today, let me put the number up. Those of you, Mr. I don't see Amos Joyce here tonight. So, Mr. George, I'm not too sure if you're here, but I'll put it up anyway. Mr. George, if you're here and you care to give us a call, please do so. Samson told LIBERIA Public. I'm not going to be here for long this evening, folks. Friday I will be here for quite a while because I'm going to have a lot to talk about. In fact, here's my number. Give me a call, Samson told LIBERIA Public. Let me check this thing here before I put the number up there. The number is already up there, but let's see. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. Let's see connection. Let's see if I'm still connected with my device. Yes, I am. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. But anyhow, Mr. George, if you're listening, and because I don't see you here, if you're listening, give me a call anyway. But Friday, we will go into how am I going to start my layout on Friday. Since I don't have the design, I'm not going to bore you with quantity, but I will do a rough quantity, just rough excavation. I'm not going to give you guide rail. I'm not going to give you lighting. And one of the things I want to point out here before I go, the government of Liberia, even if they're going to use East construction, they have to involve Liberian electrician, Liberian electrical engineers. Don't come out with Ghanaian engineers, electrical engineer to do Liberia work, because the electrical engineers that are going to be involved, they're going to have to put down the loop. They're going to have to put down how do you connect roads coming to the highway? Is it going to be stop sign? And how do you do that? What seconds that need to be done for it to turn green? Liberian engineers should be encouraged to be part of this process. Liberian electrical engineers should be encouraged. You got something. In fact, if you Liberian Engineers Association here in the U.S., you got more Liberian double E here who are member of that association than you have civil. Okay, and they're very smart. Some of them working for Ford company, some of them working for the 500 Fortune company, making good money. It's not like they want job in Liberia, but they have the ability. They have the ability to do these kinds of work. They must be involved. Liberia government should go out and recruit these young men. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there. Let me do this while I'm waiting. I only wait for 2 minutes and I'm out of here, folks. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. We're here again this evening trying to give you some information. Friday is going to be a doozy. It's going to be a doozy because we do intend to go a little bit deeper as with respect to this company. I don't have much information, and as far as physical. Okay, Mr. George, if you're watching, give me a call and see if you can make some contribution. I don't have much information with respect to the physical location of this company. I don't. Most of my information on Friday will be based on their past experience that I know of, that I am having information from. Okay. Other than that, I have nothing. They don't have anything, nothing for people to look at and say, okay, they've done this, they've done that. And I will also, on Friday, I will bring this company from Burkina Faso that Dr. Weah and his people and his government wanted to use for the coastal highway. Why is it that this company is not being touched? It's not being tapped to do this Rawafi highway. They were going to do the Rawafi highway, because it was going to be part of the coastal highway. Why are they not involved? Why are they not involved? Why are they not involved? I don't know that. Because if they were to do the coastal highway, Rawafi highway were going to be part of the coastal highway. So if those people already have an insight of what the government of Liberia is looking for, why will you then put them aside and go with this company that some of us, my opinion, do not have any kinds of standing with respect to proper construction materials and ability to construct this high capacity 4-lane highway. And that's the train I'm going to take on Friday. Mr. George, are you there? Give me a call. 916-533-2048. I don't see it coming. Okay, maybe Mr. George is very busy tonight. So, Mr. George, if you're busy, I just seeing you. One of the information that I have here, let me share this again before I go. And that's the information with Mr. Smith, Mr. Toby Smith, who I talked with this morning, and he has agreed. No, nothing guaranteed. So I'm not using the word guarantee. But he asked me to call him back next Tuesday, where hopefully by then he will have the information of some technical person that will join us here and have that kinds of conversation about the technical aspect of this Rawarfield EW Junction Highway. Okay? So, Mr. George, I just thought that I'd let you know. So, if you once we have the person name, and of course, Mr. George, I will let you know so that you can do some research on that person and whatever it is they do as well, and then we can start the conversation. Other than that, folks, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, it's been a wonderful afternoon. I got to run. That sounds in tone from Total. He said the people were calling, they input the volume up. So I'm calling the guy back. Hello, Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm sorry to call you. Were you calling me?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to be sorry. I'm happy that you called back because I mean, it's half of for a program like the call people back, please.
No, I saw your number and it was my fault because I didn't put the volume up, so and there's no way I would be able to hear it. But go ahead, my brother, make your comment. I'm sorry for calling.
Came again from Houston, Texas. Yeah, the regular follow.
Yeah, thank you.
Podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah. Listen to the points you made and everything you talk about, especially for the road, and people who have been residing along the road, brushing it, years, you get 20 years and claiming to it. Those are all, reality. I don't know whether it's part of Liberian law that when you reside in the area and nobody question you there, and 20 years by it becomes yours. I always hear that. I don't know whether it's in the record, in the law book for that. However, my attention is really drawn to this company you're talking about, or the government, putting up for this road project. Up to now, there's no website that I can find to really read about this company. So I'm asking if you know the link on the internet or website that we can follow them and know if they have been doing work like that before and how it's been going on.
Well, your best bet is do what I've been doing. I just go on Google and type the East International Group Construction. Then you put Liberia on there, and you should be able to see. People been writing about them lately, especially Martin Collins been writing about them lately, and some information will be coming up as well. That's about. They don't have a website that I know of, so there's no way you can.
That's why I'm asking the question, because with all the information we're getting is from other people, interpreting their work and other stuff. I mean, like you will see a company that have a media outlet where you can follow their activity and see what they're doing, and all of that. That can inform you about them, and it can give you hope that they will be able to do the work they are tasked to do. But all the other stories coming from third party or second party, that's why I'm asking. But anyway, we've been questioning the government when it comes to these multilateral contracts, and some of them have been a failure, and some of them stay on hold. it's just hard to really, give 100% hope to the government when it comes to this kind of initiative. It's just hard because in the past, like you were talking about it, under Iboma, people from the company they talk about, the coastal highway and all the stuff. Up to now, nothing, and you can't understand the left and right. So with this kind of, Haliquet road project, for me, I'm still having doubt in my mind about this project, whether it will pick up or if it will even start with that East International company. I just think that we'll wake up one day again to talk about another company coming in to help them. So that's how I think about that.
Yeah. Well, we just, for me, I seriously, sincerely hope that this thing will take off this time around, because it's very important. This highway, Rawafi Highway, is very important to the continued development of our country. It's very important. So I would hope that this thing would pick up. My concern is that the government, it doesn't seem like they're starting on a right foot, and I could be wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong. But anyhow, thank you for your comment, Common. We appreciate it. You keep calling. We say thank you very much. We appreciate your continued following LIBERIA Public Radio. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Let me call Mr. George here and see.
Please leave your message for.
Okay. There's no way. All right, Mr. George, if you're listening, give me a call. When you called earlier, they went to voice. I mean, someone was on. Let me try again and see. Okay. All right, folks. I think Mr. George and I are going to be back here Friday. And let me just say good night to all of you again. Thank you very much for your continued support of LIBERIA Public Radio. We appreciate it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. So I will say good night to you. But one of the things here, before I say good night, folks, let me just say this here very quickly. It is not our intent to degrade or to incite or anything. I'm just passing the information on. These are information that is already there. People know it. I'm not far from it. I'm from way total. I know nothing. But people who are smarter, they know these things. Now, I'm not too sure what the Liberian laws say about people using property, but it's internationally known. And Liberia is not isolated. Liberia is not isolated. So let us don't fool ourselves. Say, oh, that law that only in America also. Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, let me get out of here. I will say good night to all of you folks. Hopefully, we will be able to engage the government here very shortly. And they will be able to, I know once they agree to engage us, they will definitely give us some wonderful information, because we're not mouthpiece for nobody, not the government, not the opposition. And so when they come out here, they will be challenged. There's no question asked. What I'm not willing to do and what I'm not going to do is to throw one of those got you questions. Before they come out here, that person that you will see here or hear on this radio, a person and myself will most likely will have had in conversation before coming up here. So we'll have a clear understanding what is it that we're going to be talking about. Okay? Thank you and good night, folks.
Not disrespect because you see me in papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect
Angane meyo, ye borusu kuona verio. Angane meyo, ye borusu kuona verio. Angane meyo, duro tape makuria, wapa ya seba. Onana ayama lokolo mwane sikolo mwa ye poza ne kripu ya moreu. Lokolo tolie borusu ku. Suku ogere yo, ama ya lokolo kete swelo indi doro. Karema TV, enana, monyoka kora kanama. Karema TV, enana, sono sere kanama. Pale kwekuri kuna, inana, pale mwaki kanama. Baye jibo basogo, zakati ko pale monyo basogo. Lokuru basogo, zakati ko pare munyo basogo. Tumo wana, pare tumo wana, korope ota singo. Tumo wana, pare waki tumo wana, amoye bo pare kaka.